He noticed the autistic girl cover her ears, so the cold CEO turned down the music and the gala shimmered with crystal lights, champagne laughter, and music so loud it felt like the air itself was vibrating. Everyone was dressed like they were competing for a crown, everyone except him. Ethan Cole, the cold, unshakable CEO known across the city for his iron heart and sharper tongue, stood near the balcony, scanning the room with eyes that missed nothing and cared for even less. He wasn't here to celebrate. He never was. Events like these were advertising. Deals disguised as dancing, alliances wrapped in glitter. His reputation, just like the man himself, was carved from stone, ruthless, brilliant, and emotionally unreachable. But that illusion began to crack the second he saw her, the little girl in the corner, no older than 9, her tiny hands pressed hard over her ears, her eyes squeezed shut like she was trying to disappear inside herself. The music thumped again, and her shoulders jerked in pain. Ethan frowned. Children rarely came to events like this, and he would have walked away if not for her soft, trembling whimper that somehow cut through the noise more sharply than the speakers themselves. Without thinking, something he never allowed himself to do, he walked toward her. The crowd parted instinctively, not out of courtesy but out of fear. No one wanted to be in the path of the cold CEO. And then he saw her mother, Emma, standing beside her, trying to shield her daughter with her own arms while panic filled her eyes. "It's okay, Lily, just a minute, sweetheart," she whispered, though her voice shook. Lily rocked back and forth, her breathing rapid, her fingers trembling against her ears. Emma looked helpless, scared, and heartbreakingly alone. Someone nearby muttered with irritation, "If your kid can't handle noise, why bring her here?" A couple exchanged judgmental glances. A man laughed, and that was the moment Ethan felt something unfamiliar. A sharp flare of anger directed at everyone in that glittering room, except the girl. Before Emma could apologize or explain or hide, Ethan stepped forward, his voice colder than the marble floor beneath them. "Stop the music." The DJ blinked, confused, until Ethan's hard stare made him snap into action. The music died instantly. Gasps echoed. Murmurs rippled across the hall. Was the CEO really throwing a tantrum over a child? But Ethan didn't care. For the first time in years, he didn't care about perception, power, or profit. He knelt in front of Lily, slowly, carefully, the way one might approach a frightened bird. "It's too loud, isn't it?" he asked softly, so softly he barely recognized his own voice. Lily peeked at him through wet lashes and gave the smallest nod. "It hurts," she whispered. Her voice was like a crack in his armor. "I know," he said. "It won't hurt anymore." Emma stared in disbelief. She had seen this man on billboards and business magazines. An empire builder, a billionaire who never smiled, a man whose handshake could chill a room, but she had never seen him like this. She clutched Lily's shoulder protectively. "Mr. Cole, I'm so sorry. She has autism, and she gets overwhelmed. I didn't think." "You don't need to apologize," Ethan said firmly. "Not to me. Not to anyone." His attention shifted back to the girl. "Do you want to step outside for a moment? It's quiet out there." Lily hesitated but nodded again, tiny and fragile. As they walked toward the balcony, the crowd whispered behind them, "Shocking, scandalous, confusing." But Ethan ignored them all. Outside, the cool night air wrapped around them like a blanket. Lily lowered her hands from her ears, her breathing calmer now. Ethan stood still, watching her with an expression Emma couldn't quite decode, something between protectiveness and regret, as if he recognized a pain he had forgotten long ago. "People can be loud," he finally said. "Sometimes too loud." Lily looked up at him, her brown eyes wide. "I don't like loud." "Neither do I," he admitted. And for the first time, Emma saw the truth. Ethan wasn't cold. He was guarded, wounded. Something in him had learned to silence the world by shutting himself down. Lily, in her innocence, had simply removed the armor he didn't know he still wore. Emma exhaled shakily. Thank you. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't helped. You're welcome, Ethan said, his eyes softening as Lily gently leaned against her mother. Stay as long as you like. I'll make sure no one bothers you. It should have ended there. But it didn't, because when Lily reached out and took his hand, small, warm, trusting, Ethan felt the first stirrings of something he hadn't felt in years. Something he thought he wasn't capable of anymore. Humanity, vulnerability, and maybe, hope, and he didn't let go. For the next hour, the entire gala shifted around one simple truth. Ethan Cole, the untouchable CEO, had done the unthinkable. He had stopped an entire event. For a child. People watched him with confusion, fascination, some even with admiration, but Ethan paid none of it any attention. His world, unexpectedly and wholly, had narrowed down to the girl beside him who was now drawing little circles on the balcony railing with her finger while humming softly, a gentle rhythm that somehow soothed him more than any music ever had. Emma sat close, watching them both with a mixture of gratitude and curiosity. She wasn't used to kindness, not from powerful men, not from strangers, and certainly not from someone like Ethan. I hope she's okay now, he said, his voice careful. She is, Emma replied. You helped more than you know. Ethan nodded, but there was a question in his eyes, something unsaid. Emma understood before he even spoke. He wanted to understand. And so she explained, softly, patiently, the world her daughter lived in. A world where every sound felt sharper, every light brighter, every emotion magnified. Lily feels everything, Emma said. And sometimes it becomes too much. But she's brilliant. She loves patterns, music, stars, and hand gestures. She smiled as Lily waved her arms in a gentle, rhythmic motion. Ethan watched, mesmerized. She's telling you she's happy, Emma added. Something inside him softened further. He had climbed mountains in business, built empires from nothing, faced boardrooms full of suits ready to tear him apart, yet this moment, this simple gesture from a child, felt more powerful than any victory he had ever achieved. The gala resumed inside, quieter now, Ethan's orders. People approached the balcony, hesitant, unsure whether they should speak. Ethan shielded the girl effortlessly. Give her space, he said calmly. No anger, just certainty. And for once, people listened. Emma's eyes glistened. Why are you doing this? Ethan glanced at Lily, who was now rearranging the buttons on his sleeve into a pattern. Because someone should have done it for me, he said quietly. Emma blinked, and then everything made sense. The boy Ethan must have been. The boy no one understood. The boy who felt too much but learned to feel nothing because the world demanded it. Lily paused her pattern making and touched his wrist. Ethan froze, then smiled, a small, fragile, beautiful smile that looked like it had been trapped inside him for years. You're sweet, Lily whispered. Ethan swallowed. No one has ever called me that. That's because they weren't looking, Emma said softly. Silence settled over them, gentle and warm. Then Lily did something that broke him entirely. She reached up and wrapped her arms around his neck. A hug, pure, trusting, effortless. Ethan's breath caught. He closed his eyes as emotion, raw and painfully honest, rose inside him like a tide he couldn't fight. No boardroom had ever undone him like this. No achievement had ever felt this meaningful. When Lily finally let go, she smiled. You're good, she said simply. Emma wiped a tear. Ethan looked at her, his voice barely steady. You've raised a remarkable girl. I've tried, Emma whispered. But it's been hard. People judge what they don't understand. Ethan's jaw tightened. They won't judge her tonight. Not while I'm here. And he meant it. He escorted them inside, keeping the music low, guiding them through the crowd with the protective steadiness of someone who had finally found what he never knew he was missing. When the night ended, Emma looked at him with gratitude so deep he didn't know how to accept it. You changed everything for us tonight, she said. You changed something for me, too, he admitted. If you ever need anything, I know, she said softly. Thank you. Lily waved her hands again, her happy gesture, and Ethan felt something inside him bloom. As they walked away, Lily turned back. Bye, Ethan, she called, her voice clear, bright, perfect. Ethan exhaled, the cold CEO nowhere in sight. Just a man who had learned to listen, because a little girl with gentle eyes had taught him how. And if you felt the warmth of this story, if it touched your heart even a little, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories that remind us that kindness still exists, sometimes in the people we least expect.